I paid off my wife's debt and bought my stepdaughter a car, then overheard them planning to reunite with her ex once he got out of prison. So, I took the car back and made sure my wife drowned in debt again. Hello Reddit, I plus here. I had always been the kind of man who believed in second chances. When I met Sarah, she was a single mother struggling to keep her head above water, drowning in debt left behind by a deadbeat ex who had landed himself in prison. I fell for her hard, and I wanted to help. I loved her daughter, Lily, as if she were my own. I did what any devoted husband and father figure would do. I stepped up. Over the years, I worked tirelessly to give them a better life. I paid off Sarah's overwhelming debt, making sure she could breathe again without creditors knocking on our door. When Lily turned 18, I bought her a car so she could have her own independence. I never asked for gratitude or recognition. I did it because I loved them. But love, as I learned the hard way, can be blind. One evening, I came home early from work, tired but feeling accomplished. That was when I overheard the conversation that shattered my world. Sarah's voice was filled with excitement. "He's getting out next month." Lily laughed. "Finally, I miss him. It'll be nice to have a real family again." A real family? My heart pounded. I pressed myself against the wall, listening. Sarah continued. "Once he's out, we'll give it some time. Then we can leave. It'll be a fresh start, with no more money problems now that he's back." Lily sighed dreamily. "And thanks to him, we'll have more money than ever. He's got plans." Plans? I had heard enough. They were using me. I had spent years making sure Sarah didn't have to worry about debt, that Lily had everything she needed, and the entire time, they had been waiting for her ex, a criminal, to get out and take over again. Rage burned through me, but I wasn't going to explode. If they wanted a fresh start, I'd make sure they got one, the hard way. That night, I played the doting husband, acting none the wiser. I even took Sarah out for dinner, celebrating our new chapter together. I needed time to get everything in order. The next morning, my plan went into motion. First, the car. It was still in my name, so I took it back while Lily was asleep. I drove it straight to a dealership, trading it in for a brand new truck, for myself. Then, the finances. Every debt I had paid off for Sarah. I had made sure her name stayed on the accounts. The credit cards were hers, the loans in her name. I had only made the payments. So, I stopped. Overnight, she went from living comfortably to being buried in debt again. Collection notices would start rolling in within weeks. As for the bank accounts, I had been smart from the beginning. My money was separate, always had been. The joint account. I emptied it and left her a crisp $20 bill. A parting gift. I packed my things and left while she was at work, taking every valuable thing I had ever bought with my money. The house? It was mine too, purchased before the marriage. By the time she got home, the locks had been changed, and my lawyer was already preparing the divorce papers. Sarah called, screamed, cried, and threatened, but I didn't answer. I didn't care. Let her go running back to her ex, but she'd be going empty-handed, with a mountain of debt dragging her down. Weeks later, I heard through mutual friends that her ex had been released. He came back expecting a comfortable life, only to find that Sarah was broke, drowning in debt, and without the car she had promised Lily would be waiting for him. And me? I was already moving forward, debt-free, regret-free, and finally free of them. Some lessons in life are expensive. Luckily for me, I made sure they were the ones who paid the price. It wasn't long before Sarah and Lily realized just how deep they were in trouble. Desperation led them to reach out to mutual acquaintances, spinning tales of abandonment and betrayal. I ignored the noise. I had washed my hands of them. Then, late one night, I got a message from an unknown number. "You think you're smart? You think you can just walk away?" It was followed by a picture. My new truck parked outside my apartment. I wasn't afraid. If her ex thought he could intimidate me, he had no idea who he was dealing with. I contacted a lawyer and made sure my restraining order against Sarah and her newfound love was in place. The last thing I needed was their toxicity creeping back into my life. I even had security cameras installed at my place, just in case. A week later, my truck was vandalized. The words "traitor" and "thief" were spray-painted across the doors. I filed a police report, and security footage confirmed what I suspected. Sarah and her ex, caught red-handed. It was time to put the final nail in the coffin. With my lawyer's help, I pressed charges for property damage and harassment. Sarah and her ex weren't just dealing with financial ruin now, they were facing legal trouble too. Turns out, Her ex wasn't as reformed as she had hoped. Within months, he violated his parole, landing himself back in prison. Sarah, unable to keep up with her mounting debts and now with a criminal record, had to move back in with her mother. As for me, I thrived. I moved to a new city, started fresh, and eventually found someone who truly valued me. Not for what I could provide, but for who I was. Revenge may not always be the answer, but in this case, it was the perfect closure.